Chapter 1 of the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is titled The Entrepreneurial Myth and discusses the common misconceptions about entrepreneurship that can lead to failure in small businesses. Gerber starts by describing the story of Sarah, a woman who quit her job to start her own bakery. Sarah was passionate about baking and believed that her love for the craft would translate into a successful business. However, after struggling with the day-to-day operations of running a business, Sarah realized that her passion was not enough to sustain her bakery. Gerber argues that the conventional wisdom about entrepreneurship is flawed. The myth is that entrepreneurs are born with a unique set of skills and traits that enable them to build successful businesses. However, Gerber contends that this myth is not accurate. He argues that successful entrepreneurs are not necessarily born with some innate ability, but rather, they have learned how to create a successful business by following a set of principles. Gerber introduces the concept of the E-Myth, which stands for the entrepreneurial myth. The E-Myth is the belief that small businesses are started by entrepreneurs who are skilled at what they do, and that their success is due to their technical abilities. Gerber argues that this is not true and that the majority of small business owners fail because they do not understand the difference between working in their business and working on their business. Gerber defines working in the business as the day-to-day tasks of the business, such as baking the bread, while working on the business involves planning, strategy, and creating systems to make the business run smoothly. He argues that successful entrepreneurs are those who understand the importance of working on their business and creating systems to ensure its success. Gerber goes on to explain that small business owners need to adopt a mindset of a franchise owner. Franchise owners have systems in place that enable them to run a successful business without having to be present at all times. By creating systems, small business owners can create a successful business that can be replicated, which is essential for growth. In conclusion, Chapter 1 of the E-Myth Revisited challenges the conventional wisdom about entrepreneurship and argues that the key to success is not innate skills or abilities but rather the ability to create systems that make the business run smoothly. The E-Myth, or the belief that successful businesses are started by entrepreneurs who are skilled at what they do, is a myth that can lead to failure. Instead, small business owners need to adopt a franchise mindset and focus on working on their business, not just in it. By doing so, they can create a successful business that can grow and thrive. Chapter 2 of the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is titled The Entrepreneur, the Manager, and the Technician and explores the three distinct personalities that are essential to building a successful business. Gerber argues that every small business owner must possess a balance of these three personalities to create a successful business. The first personality is the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is the visionary and the dreamer. They are the ones who come up with the ideas and are willing to take risks to make them a reality. Entrepreneurs are good at seeing the big picture and are always looking for new opportunities. The second personality is the manager. The manager is the one who puts the entrepreneur's ideas into action. They are responsible for implementing systems and processes to ensure that the business runs smoothly. Managers are good at organizing and managing people and resources. The third personality is the technician. The technician is the worker. They are the ones who actually do the work and create the products or services that the business provides. Technicians are good at the technical aspects of the business and are often the reason why the business exists in the first place. Gerber argues that many small business owners are technicians who have started their own business because they are good at what they do. However, they lack the skills of an entrepreneur or a manager, which can lead to failure. He explains that in order for a small business to succeed, the owner must learn to balance all three personalities. Gerber uses the example of a person who loves to bake and decides to open a bakery. The technician in them is responsible for creating the baked goods, but they also need to be an entrepreneur who can come up with new ideas and a manager who can create systems to ensure that the bakery runs smoothly. Gerber also warns against the dangers of being too focused on one personality. He explains that if a small business owner is too focused on being a technician, they will spend all their time working in the business and not enough time working on it. Similarly, if a small business owner is too focused on being an entrepreneur, they may come up with too many ideas without actually implementing any of them. In conclusion, Chapter 2 of the E-Myth Revisited emphasizes the importance of balancing the three personalities of an entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician to build a successful business. Small business owners must possess all three personalities to create a business that is not only successful but also sustainable. By recognizing the importance of each personality and learning to balance them, small business owners can avoid the common pitfalls that lead to failure. Chapter 3 of the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is titled Infancy, the Technician Phase, and discusses the early stages of a small business. Gerber argues that the early stages of a small business are critical and that it is during this time that the foundation for a successful business is laid. Gerber explains that the early stages of a small business are characterized by the technician phase, which is when the owner is focused on doing the technical work of the business. This is the stage where the owner is working in the business rather than on it, and they are often doing everything themselves. Gerber argues that many small business owners get stuck in this technician phase and never move beyond it. They become so focused on the technical work of the business that they neglect the other aspects of running a successful business, such as marketing, finance, and management. Gerber explains that in order for a small business to succeed, the owner must learn to work on the business rather than in it. This means creating systems and processes that allow the business to run smoothly without the owner being present at all times. It also means learning to delegate tasks and responsibilities to others so that the owner can focus on the big picture. Gerber also emphasizes the importance of creating a clear vision for the business. He argues that small business owners must have a clear understanding of what they want their business to be and how they plan to achieve their goals. This vision should be communicated to everyone in the business, and it should guide all decision-making. Gerber also stresses the importance of creating a system for everything in the business. This includes everything from how to answer the phone to how to bake a cake. By creating systems, the business can run smoothly and efficiently, even when the owner is not present. In conclusion, Chapter 3 of the E-Myth Revisited emphasizes the importance of the early stages of a small business and the technician phase. Gerber argues that this phase is critical for laying the foundation for a successful business. Small business owners must learn to work on the business rather than in it, create a clear vision for the business, and create systems for everything in the business. By doing so, small business owners can create a successful business that is sustainable and can grow over time. Chapter 4 of the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is titled Adolescence, Getting Some Help, and explores the second phase of a small business's growth. Gerber argues that in order for a small business to succeed, the owner must learn to delegate tasks and responsibilities to others. Gerber explains that as a small business grows, the owner must learn to let go of some of the tasks and responsibilities. This can be difficult for many small business owners who are used to doing everything themselves. However, Gerber argues that this is necessary for the business to continue growing. Gerber suggests that small business owners should start by delegating simple tasks to others. This could include things like answering the phone or responding to emails. Over time, the owner can delegate more complex tasks to others as they build trust and confidence in their employees. Gerber also emphasizes the importance of creating a clear organizational structure. This includes creating job descriptions and defining roles and responsibilities for each employee. By doing so, everyone in the business knows what is expected of them, and there is less confusion and conflict. Gerber also stresses the importance of hiring the right people. He argues that small business owners must look for employees who share their values and vision for the business. They must also be willing to invest time and resources in training their employees to ensure that they have the skills they need to succeed. Gerber also discusses the importance of creating a culture of accountability. This means setting clear expectations and holding employees accountable for their performance. By doing so, employees understand what is expected of them, and they are motivated to perform at their best. In conclusion, Chapter 4 of the E-Myth Revisited emphasizes the importance of delegation and creating a clear organizational structure. Small business owners must learn to let go of some of the tasks and responsibilities as the business grows, and they must be willing to invest in training their employees to ensure their success. By creating a culture of accountability and hiring the right people, small business owners can build a strong team that will help their business continue to grow and succeed. Chapter 5 of the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is titled Beyond the Comfort Zone and focuses on the third phase of a small business's growth. Gerber argues that in order for a small business to continue growing, The owner must be willing to take risks and step out of their comfort zone. Gerber explains that many small business owners get stuck in their comfort zone and become complacent. They become satisfied with the level of success they have achieved and are reluctant to take any risks that could potentially jeopardize their business. However, Gerber argues that this is a dangerous mindset and can lead to stagnation and failure. Gerber suggests that small business owners should always be looking for new opportunities to grow their business. This could involve expanding into new markets or introducing new products or services. It could also involve developing new marketing strategies or exploring new sales channels. Gerber also emphasizes the importance of innovation. He argues that small business owners must be willing to think outside the box and come up with new ideas and solutions to problems. They must be willing to take risks and try new things, even if they are not sure if they will work. Gerber also discusses the importance of staying focused on the big picture. He argues that small business owners must have a clear understanding of their long-term goals and be willing to make short-term sacrifices to achieve them. This could involve investing in new technology or hiring additional staff to help the business continue to grow. Gerber also stresses the importance of continuously learning and improving. He argues that small business owners must be willing to invest time and resources in their own education and development. This could involve attending industry conferences or taking courses to develop new skills. In conclusion, Chapter 5 of the E-Myth Revisited emphasizes the importance of stepping out of the comfort zone and taking risks to continue growing a small business. Small business owners must be willing to innovate, stay focused on the big picture, and continuously learn and improve. By doing so, they can create a business that is sustainable, adaptable, and successful in the long term. Chapter 6 of the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is titled Maturity and the Entrepreneurial Perspective and explores the fourth and final phase of a small business's growth. Gerber argues that in order for a small business to reach maturity, the owner must learn to step back and take an entrepreneurial perspective. Gerber explains that in the earlier phases of a small business's growth, the owner is focused on doing everything themselves, delegating tasks, and taking risks to continue growing. However, in the maturity phase, the focus shifts to developing systems and processes that enable the business to run smoothly without the owner's constant involvement. Gerber suggests that small business owners should start by documenting all of their processes and procedures. This includes everything from how to answer their phone to how to handle customer complaints. By doing so, the owner can create a standardized way of doing things that can be easily replicated by others. Gerber also emphasizes the importance of developing a management team. This involves hiring people who can manage the day-to-day operations of the business and make strategic decisions on behalf of the owner. It also involves creating a culture of leadership where everyone in the business is encouraged to take ownership of their roles and responsibilities. Gerber also discusses the importance of creating a strong brand. He argues that small business owners must develop a unique value proposition and differentiate themselves from their competitors. This involves creating a strong brand identity and developing a marketing strategy that is focused on communicating the unique value that the business offers. Gerber also stresses the importance of creating a culture of continuous improvement. This means constantly reviewing and refining processes and procedures to ensure that they are as efficient and effective as possible. It also involves staying up to date with industry trends and developments and adapting the business accordingly. In conclusion, Chapter 6 of the E-Myth Revisited emphasizes the importance of taking an entrepreneurial perspective in the maturity phase of a small business's growth. Small business owners must focus on developing systems and processes, creating a management team, building a strong brand, and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. By doing so, they can create a business that is sustainable, scalable, and successful in the long term.